Happy 4th of July observed. Welcome to Spicer and Company. I'm Sean Spicer.
And I'm Lindsay Keith. Well, you know, Sean, we've been seeing a lot of protests lately, and a lot of them have been pretty peaceful, but some have gotten out of hand, unfortunately, as we've seen, and turned into rioting or looting. And I think the question is, when people do cross a line with violence or threats of violence, when are you able to start protecting yourself and or your property if that's what's being jeopardized? Yeah,
it's a great question. I mean, if you listen to the media, you always hear that these protests have been mainly peaceful. And while I think most people are peacefully exercising their, First Amendment rights, many aren't. And sometimes it's hard to tell if a crowd's going to stay peaceful, because that's the other thing. It may be at one moment and then kind of get exacerbated and go nuts. Or if the situation's going to turn hostile in some way, you just don't know. And I think it's easy to look at it afterwards and say, oh, well, see, it just remains peaceful. But some of these times, with all the looting and the rioting, you're not really sure where it's going to go. Well, we've certainly seen all of that kind of stuff happening. And where it's no longer a protest and we start seeing riots and looting, and people actually getting hurt or believe they might get hurt. So, this has become part of the problem, is that it's sometimes you've seen the destruction of property, you've seen the destruction of statues, church getting burnt. But I think that there's also this element of personal safety. When does someone feel like they are about to be threatened and or might be and want to take things in their own hands? And this whole story that we talked about in Missouri, where this couple started defending their own home. As the story started to become a national headline, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley started slamming the prosecutor in St. Louis, Kim Gardner, for spearheading an investigation into that family. They're the McCloskeys. He said, quote, "The truth is that they never left their property. They went toward the crowd, got off the property, yet you are going to investigate? That's really an abuse of power." I mean, Lindsay, the thing that's weird is that these people stood right outside their front door, and as people had come through a gate, they were sitting there ready to defend themselves and their property, and now they're being investigated. They're going to be arrested. This is ridiculous. Joining us now to talk about all this is the attorney for the McCloskeys, Albert Watkins. Albert, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let me just get this straight, because I want to make sure I'm not a lawyer, but I just watched the video, and I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. This group of folks who are protesting break down the gate to the McCloskeys' home. They stand outside ready to defend their home and their property and make sure that these protesters know that they're there after they've destroyed their property. And now they're being investigated and probably arrested. Is that right?
Yeah, the circuit attorney, who is the prosecutor, is a political figure. She was elected. She is absolutely devoid of capacity to understand and appreciate long-standing law, the rights and entitlements of a homeowner to protect his property, to protect his wife, his family, and to do so in a fashion which employs the lawful use of weapons. And in the state of Missouri, you have the right to discharge and flourish your weapon on your property, private property, to protect your family and to protect your home.
Did anyone who broke that gate, I would assume that, again, I'm not a lawyer, but that looks like trespassing and destruction of property. Did any of those people get charged with anything?
No, nobody was arrested. Nobody's been charged. Here's what's going on. The movement here called Expect Us, which is under the auspices of getting the message for Black Lives Matter out, they have a retribution march scheduled for this evening, and it is scheduled to commence 1 block east of the residence of the McCloskeys. You have a circuit attorney who has told the police, hands off all of the protesters. The police have actually told the protesters, you have the green light. And now what's happened is you have a circuit attorney who is going to disregard long-standing Missouri law and is going to be charging my clients.
With what?
Well, we can only guess.
Last time I checked, standing on your property is not against the law. The last time I checked, I don't understand. Like this, literally, I'm having a hard time. What are they going to charge them with, to the best of your understanding?
I couldn't begin to guess, because there is nothing colorable or actionable about anything that my clients did. This is one of the fundamental tenets of our great country, that you have the right, you have the entitlement to protect your family, protect yourself, protect your home from invaders, from interlopers, from those who are threatening. And in this case, you've got a family who has lived in that home for 32 years in the city of St. Louis. They've raised their family there, and they all of a sudden can't rely on the local police department to help them because the local police department's being told, hands off a protester. Doesn't matter that they're breaking the law. Doesn't matter that they're trespassing. Doesn't matter that they're armed. Doesn't matter that they have antagonistic, angry, bitter human beings that aren't really trying to impart a noble message. They are out to cause anarchy, create anarchy. And now they've recruited from around the country people to come in and to join forces with them. This is going to be a very dark day in St. Louis if we do not, at some point, have the resources necessary to be able to have everyone understand a noble message is great, but you can't usurp
Albert, you keep talking about the resources. It's obvious that the local government isn't helping. Is Governor Parsons there helping? Is the federal government helping? I know that there have been reports that you've been in contact with the White House. Is the federal government or the state government helping? Because it seems like the local government isn't.
Yeah, local government is out of the picture. State government is trying to garner some resources for state troopers, but it has been the White House with a high degree of compassion over the last couple of days, stressing, please try to put together a way to have peace. But when that became clear over the course of the last night, an absolute commitment of overwhelming federal resources was made. And we are commencing that process of getting boots on the ground as I am speaking to you.
Albert, there are reports that Kim Gardner will try to arrest the McCloskeys actually tonight. Some people have said, why would they do this on a holiday weekend? But I believe that it's intentional because then they would have to sit in jail all weekend when there aren't any judges available.
Yeah, of course. And remember, my two clients are attorneys themselves. These are not crackheads. These are individuals who are, for the better part of 3.5 decades each, out there discharging their duties, upholding the Constitution as agents of the court. No, of course, what Kim Gardner is trying to do is to have them arrested and put in jail without a duty judge on duty over a holiday weekend, so they can sit and fester in some facility before a bond hearing can be conducted.
Do you have intel that she would come for them, that they would come tonight?
I can tell you that obviously the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, I represent police officers. They will do their duty, but they have special orders. If they have to arrest somebody, they have to arrest somebody. But I can assure you that I am not a moron, nor are my clients. And I suggest to you that my clients will not be enjoying the confines of a jail over the weekend.
So are they in their home? Are they protected at all? What are they doing to stay safe, especially in light of this march that's going by their house?
Well, they are not concerned about the marchers. They're concerned about a circuit attorney run amok. And that's what we're dealing with. In terms of their own security, we have an overwhelming response that's occurred over the course of the last 48 hours from around the country. There will be significantly armed, trained individuals who are private individuals who are of the highest caliber. There will be a force here. The front of the house has been boarded up. Security cameras have been put in place. Halogen lights have been put in place. Barricades have been put in place. My clients are not Skippy the Punk. My clients will not compromise their constitutional rights simply because they have some yahoo with an elected official badge pretending to be a learned legal counsel with prosecutorial entitlements. Not going to work.
Albert, I want to thank you for coming on today and explaining this. I hope the best for your clients this weekend and that you actually have an opportunity to celebrate the 4th of July and relax a little bit. All my best to you and to them, and I hope that you continue to stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
You bet. All right, well, up next, we're going to talk to a 24-year-old North Carolina congressional candidate. His name is Madison Cawthorn. And then we're also going to talk to a retired Army lieutenant colonel who's challenging incumbent Democrat Mark Warner for a Senate seat in Virginia. Then John Schneider, also known as Bo from the Dukes of Hazzard. He's going to be here to tell us about his new single, The Trump Card. All that and more, so stick around.